if I want to eliminate fire, what do I eliminate fire? Run fire, water, get 2 minutes, right? I don't live there. Alright, sure. I am gonna this is the hot black disease and the Alright, now if you had just watched my previous video, come back down here. Now imagine though that the fire was so big that one thing of water wasn't enough, and it was going to take 2 things of water. It's like this. What if I have a 4x and I have a negative 2x? Are those going to cancel each other out? They're not. So today's lesson, we're going to try to figure out how do I take that negative 2x and turn it into a negative 4x so they do cancel out. Hey, this is Mr. Barre, and this is Solving Systems Using Elimination Part 2. I will tell you explicitly when you need to take some notes. Right now, you're just listening and watching. So what's our learning goal? I can use linear systems to solve real-life problems. Line equations will help me understand the world around me and make predictions. So yes, we can use algebra to solve systems in standard form. But what if the x's or the y's don't cancel out easily? What will you do then? In the video you watched at the beginning, I showed you that sometimes you need more water to put the fire out. Sometimes you have a 4x and a negative 2x and they're not enough. You need a 4x and a negative 4x. You need more. So how do we get there? So when I look at this, I've got a 4x and a 2x. They're not going to cancel. I have a 3x and a 9x. They're not going to cancel. So what could I do? If you're watching this live, let's talk about it. Well, wouldn't it be nice if this were a negative 9y, or if this were a negative 4x? That's the goal. We want to manipulate this so something will cancel out. Right here, we see that the y's will cancel out. This is an example from yesterday. I'm not going to do it because you did it at home. But these would cancel out and I could solve it for x. That was yesterday's lesson. But now let's do today's lesson. We're going to do this problem together. So in your notes, let's start with your name at the top. And the title, which is Elimination Part 2. And our first equation is 4x plus 4y equals 8. And 4x plus 3y equals 1. I wish this was a negative 4x, or I wish this was a negative 4x. Either way, I need to convert one of these into a negative 4. It doesn't matter if I convert the top one or the bottom one. In this example, I'm going to convert the bottom one, and here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1. That's going to give me, ready? It's a big distribution. Distribution, distribution, distribution. So negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. I've converted this equation into this equation. This equation doesn't even exist anymore. It became this. And they are the exact same equation. In the same way that 2/4 is the exact same thing as 1/2. This equation and that equation are the same equation. But what's good is that now the x's will cancel out. 4x, negative 4x, they are gone. 4y, negative 3y, is just y. And 8 minus 1 is 7. What am I going to do now? I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to take that 7, and I can either put it in here or there, top or bottom. I usually use the top. And I'll see what I get. I have 4x plus 4 times y, but y is 7, so that's 28, equals 8. Solving it for x, and I have found the actual point where those two lines cross. Where is the point of intersection? They cross at -5, 7. It's a physical point where two lines cross. I multiplied the bottom by -1. Now the x's will cancel. I solved it, and I got y equals 7. I plugged it in, and I got x equals -5. And my final answer is -5, 7. So, look at this one, and if you're watching it live, I'm going to pause it in a moment. How could I make something disappear? What do you want to disappear, x or y? And how are you going to make it happen? And your answer is going to be something like, I'm going to multiply the top by, I'm going to multiply the bottom by. So, give me some ideas. I'll unmute you. So what did we come up with? I think I'm going to do the bottom by 2. Let's multiply the bottom by 2. Let's go back into our notes. We'll multiply the bottom by 2. (4x minus 14y equals -18). (2x plus 9y equals 11). I'm going to multiply the bottom by 2. That's going to give me, let's see, 2 times -2 is -4x. 2 times 9 is 18y. 2 times 11 is 22. This equation is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It became this equation. They are the exact same equation. And now the x's will cancel. And I'm left with 4y equals 4. -18 plus the 22 is the 4. So y equals 1. What am I going to do with that? I'm going to plug it in up at the top. Could I have plugged it into this equation? Yes, but I chose to put it into the top equation. So I have 4x -14 times 1, which is negative 14 equals negative 18. What would you like to do? Add 14 to both sides. 4x equals negative 4. So x equals negative 1. So what's my final answer here? Negative 1, comma 1. Negative 1, comma 1. There it is. All right, this next one. Before you start on it, let's decide what you'd like to do. Can you guys tell me, do you want to do the top or the bottom? And what do you want to multiply it by? Together, let's all do the bottom by, you know what, let me check my notes. What did I do? I did top by negative 1. So let's go with the top by negative 1 and solve it. I'm going to pause it here. If you're watching live, just work it out. If you're watching it later, you should pause it and try it on your own and then unpause it. So top by negative 1. After I do that, these are the two equations I have right here. Notice the x's cancel out. You know what? Watch this. I've got this crazy drawing thing. The x's cancel out. Am I drawing? Oh, I am drawing. Man, I'm so snazzy. And this becomes a 1y. There's the one that we normally wouldn't show. So y equals negative 6. I take that negative 6 and I plug it in. So I took this negative 6 right there and I plugged it in right there and I solved it. Man, that wasn't the best drawing. And then I get my two answers. I get my negative 6 and 4. 4 comma negative 6 right here is the solution to the system. All right. I'd like you to think about what you would do here, top or bottom, and what would you multiply it by? Give me some options. I'll pause it here and let's talk. All right, so I think we could do the bottom by 4 or the bottom by 3. Either one. Bottom by 4 and the x's go away. Bottom by 3 and the y's go away. Let's do, let me check. Let's see, what do we do? My answer is built on bottom by 4. Okay, let's do bottom by 4. I'm going to pause it. You guys do the bottom by 4, and let's see what you get. All right, bottom by 4. I get 5 for y and x equals 9. So I need to actually write that as an ordered pair. So it would be 9, comma 5. I'm wondering if I should hook my drawing pad up to this, although I currently have, I still have one USB port going. I've got how many things plugged into this? Got the mouse plugged in, a microphone plugged in, and a camera plugged in. Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good with this, aren't I? I think I'm doing really good. Okay, and looks good. Clear all. All right. Oh, this is a good game. So we're gonna play if only. And if you're playing this live, I'll pause it. So here's how it works. If only. So what I want is you to tell me if only this was something else. If only this were a -2. And how do I get there? Well, you're going to tell me I want to multiply the bottom by 2. So when we see it, you're going to say bottom by 2. All right. What would you do here? I think most people will say top by 2, and then the y's will cancel. What would you do here? I would do nothing. The y's are ready to cancel just as is. What would you do here? How about top by -2? Top by -2, and the x's will cancel. What would you do here? I think I would do bottom by -3 and get the x's to cancel. Or bottom by -2 and the y's would cancel. Both are good options. What would you do here? This one is going to take more than before. How about this? That would turn this into a 10x. And the bottom would turn into a -10x. And they would cancel out. Here, what would you do? I think I'd go with the top by -3. Everything on the top, hit it with a -3 and the y's would cancel out. What would you do here? Yeah, this is another weird one. I'm probably going to go with the top by 4 and the bottom by 3. That would turn this into a -12y and the bottom into a 12y, and they would cancel out. And this one's just a mess. I say maybe the top by 3 and the bottom by -7. And same thing here. Maybe this one, top by 2, bottom by -3. All right, hey, that's our video. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, come talk to me. Remember to show me to check in and show me the notes. That's it. Have a good day.